Well, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Mike and Kurt. We're just here on another beautiful day.
And hopefully you can hear us today.
Yeah.
We have microphones, like real podcasters.
Woohoo! Fuzzy and everything. Look at that. We were starting to get into some conversation.
Bad energy days.
Bad energy days. Some heavy.
Maybe we start there. Not bad.
Not
heavy,
bad.
Heavy, that's right.
Heavy, thick molasses. Like just moving. Didn't matter how much force that you put on it, you're going to move at the same pace. That slow pace. And I have been getting a lot of downloads, readings, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm fumbling through this like everybody else of telling me to slow down. You know, telling to work at the pace that feels good. Don't try to rush things. And a monarch butterfly just went past. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, like I think days that I used to wake up and go, oh, I'm really disconnected today, or I'm feeling really out of it today, or sluggish, or whatever. It's like, in my experience, it's like the days when you feel really connected and really tuned in, it's like the energy is light and you feel like you're moving through air, and you feel like the air is carrying you,
floating.
And on days that it doesn't feel that way, and I think it's important to know that I don't think every day is supposed to feel that way, right?
Yeah.
It's without the contrast of the slosh, like we don't have anything happen, like forth. Nothing happens. And what I see it as is like when we're riding high, it's like we're literally like skimming like a speedboat, we are surfing, here's everything that I want, here's everything that I don't want, and you sort of ride that, you ride that ridge, like you literally surf that edge, when things are like the days you feel like Neo in the Matrix, or at least I do. It's like, but it's just like when the speedboat stops and
kind of sinks back into the,
Wait a second. Well, now I've got to like keep my head above water, and I'm working to stay up, and again, like if even in those moments, it's like the instinct, because like you were so moving so fast before, and things were happening, and synchronicities, and and how awesome is this? And then all of a sudden, the contrast of slowing down, even just slowing down, and it's like, okay, well now, you've got to swing your memories and experiences back around toward your future, and that has to like slosh past you, and it does turn into this like molasses kind of very slow moving, and it's like trying to get out of quicksand. It's like you can fight and pull it, and like the more you do that, the more, at least stickier. According to the cartoons that I watched, you get lower and lower and worse in. But if you stop, don't panic. Work one leg out, get it on top, work the other leg out, get it on top. It's like all of a sudden, okay, I can sit here. I can be in this. Like, it's not sucking me down. It felt like it was. I was making it feel like it was, because I was, And it's just like, what if we stopped? And I think there are days that if you don't recognize that, it feels like you're being suffocated.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like drowning.
I kind of like that. I keep seeing like a float, like fishing a float, a lure, the float up on there that when it gets pulled under just like from a nibble, and then it pops up, it almost comes out of the water.
Yeah, it will, yeah.
Like pops up out of the water, or
Yeah.
that stabilization of on being on a boat on the water, and you're riding high, and then when you stop, like you said, everything you might get a splash over the over the back, all that stuff, and then kind of a whoop,
Yeah.
and then you feel it kind of not necessarily riding on the waves again, but you get that equilibrium back. You get that kind of, all right, here, everything's all right. This is all right. This is all right. I'm cool.
The hammock of Gaia. How about that?
Hammock of Gaia. I like that.
She's got you like this, and it's like she's got both ends, and you can like fight her, and she's like, okay, well, look at him go, and
Yeah.
she's like, all right, and she, but what if you stop? Like, it's gonna hold you, and like, we've been conditioned that if we stop, that we die and we drown, and there's a difference in stopping and resting.
Or even just being in the moment, resting in just the moment and taking a slower pace, and it works out, and it feels better. It feels you're not struggling against the heaviness. I've been hearing that a lot lately. Slow down. Lately, slow down. Take a breath. So what if you're 5 minutes late? So what if you're, if it doesn't work out exactly like you want it to? It's okay. It's all right.
There was a moment, it's probably been a year now, though. So I was going to say a few months ago, but this year it feels like we're in a time vortex.
Oh man,
anyway.
time is just
It's like, but it was about a year ago, and and you'll know the moments not that long ago, just a few weeks ago, where it's like, oh, I don't know, man, I don't know what I feel so, and like that feeling is where I was at that same place, and the Energetic Alchemist, I think is her name, on Instagram. She follows, she posts great stuff, like great messages, but she also talks about the Schumann resonance of the Earth and tracks the science on all of that, and solar flares, and it's kind of tying the science world into the consciousness community, and she starts this video, and she's smiling in the camera, and she's not really saying anything. She goes, slow down. And I sat there, and it was like a cement truck had hit me, like, of just like, oh, okay, yes, ma'am. Like it didn't feel like a directive, but it literally felt like the exact two words I needed to hear in that moment.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I did. I stopped. I started breathing. And 3 seconds, I think, is all it takes for, actually, according to my science framework, it technically is 3 seconds, that the gut has a head start on the brain. And so it gets a 3 second picture that it's delivering ahead of time to what we're picking up. And if you can sit through that entire 3 seconds and be aware of that 3 seconds, it's like that 3 can be expanded into more. Just because you stopped to take it. Does that make sense? And so, like, sorry to, but to like keep rambling on here, but like, slowing down allows those gut feelings that are feeding us, and they're from the environment, from our emotions, whatever. If you can breathe through that, for me, at minimum, it at least slows down that like manic, just I can't breathe, like that. It's anxiety and all. I mean, depression, any negative emotion. If somebody pulls that in front of you, it's like I've learned to like It's like by the time you do that and breathe out, it's about 3 seconds have usually passed.
Well, even if you think about back from the, the 3D world, what they teach you in nursing school, and well, not necessarily in nursing school, but what you pick up along the way. I've got some experience in psychiatric nursing and stuff. When someone's having a panic attack, and they, instead of going straight to a medication, if you can get them just to slow down and breathe, control your breathing for a count to 10, it's proven that that act of slowing your breath, conscious breathing, will slow your heart rate, will settle those feelings. I don't mean it's, especially if you're not really into that whole thing, if this is something new for you. And a lot of times when they're amongst a panic attack, it's hard to get someone to consciously slow down unless they're used to doing it. But taking that conscious initiative and slow your breathing, inhale, hold for, usually it's a 4-4-6 type ratio. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, let out for 6. And it slows down your heart rate. I mean, then that's in the physical world, the 3D world. That's not even talking about, the spiritual aspects of
That's spiral though. That's 2/3 ratio. That's the golden ratio when you breathe that way. Which is how everything in your body works.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't make that connection. But also, you remember as a child, oh, stop and smell the roses. That's telling us, even in the 3D world, slow down. Slow the F down. On my journey, it's so much messages, so many things that we are taught that still translate into the metaphysical thing. There are truths. There are truths that are out there. You just got to see them.
I think if it gets to the point of being a cliche, it's like
It loses
the
its power.
gospel. It is gospel. Like, because it's like they you've heard it so much. They
Yeah.
want you to forget the actual meaning. Perception is
Fuck.
reality. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many. If it gets to the cliche point, it needs to be carved in a stone somewhere, probably. Like, because it means that we've layered it and layered it and layered it to the point of absurdity, literally.
But also, it for the general population, it takes away from it. If you hear it all the time,
Yeah,
it loses its potency.
that's the point.
So it waters down. Wow.
Maybe there's no conspiracy, man. Maybe we're just all a bunch of dummies.
No, not true. Yeah. There's a lot of butterflies out here today. Or maybe it's the same one just making laps.
I have seen a lot more lately. I think it's a sign of is there a good omen? Is that it?
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a good omen.
I thought or can you have a good omen? Or are omens always bad?
I think there's definitely good ones.
Okay. Squirrel.
But again, that's how you take it. Your perspective. What is going on in here? Will you see that particular omen as a good omen, or will someone else that's maybe in a negative heart space, they'll see it as, oh no. You're seeing the same thing from a different perspective.
I mean, I watched that new Stephen King movie, The Long Walk, and I feel like I got the greatest example of that. because like, I don't know, I kind of assumed with it being a Stephen King movie that it would be remarkably bleak.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm a big fan of his writing. And it was, so like it was like there was, so that part, it was like, well, I just assumed that. So it's like I didn't really, it wasn't a reaction to that stuff because it was expected.
Yeah.
I kept finding lessons. I kept seeing, you know, I mean, they talk about choice. I mean, they talk about religion. They talk about family, friends. And it's like, I don't know. I realize it's always been this way, but it's wild to me, and this is speaking for someone that's been an artist their entire life, that didn't really understand how many layers that are inherently there. That you don't have to think about, oh, I'm going to Christopher Nolan this shit and like Inception layer it 6 times so my message is whatever. Yes, you can do that. But it's like, when I went to that music camp, Dodie said that the songs she wrote that were the most broad in the language, because she was hiding meaning in herself that she didn't want to put out there, you know, not in its raw form. So it's like she's not hiding it, but she thinks she's carving it deeply into some groove that's, you know, 12 levels deep, and but she would use words that gave it these big umbrella terms. Well, the opposite effect of what she expected happened. It was like the really specific songs were the ones that people would enjoy and say, oh, I like the way that means this for me and for you or whatever. But the songs that she was broad about had these umbrella terms that everyone put, oh, that's my thing, that's this thing, that all get sucked into that umbrella, you know? And they were finding, oh, you must have been talking about your dad, or you must have been talking about your marriage or your relationship, or you must have been, you know, that's exactly what happened to me with my so-and-so. And it was like, people were reading it through their lenses, you know, of what those broad terms mean very specifically for them. And I think what's happening to least to me from my perspective is like being able to watch a horror movie and find all of those different layers, because it was almost like the surface story I knew was just the presentation. Like, oh, that's just how it looks. And so it's like, you see where I'm going with this? It's like there's nothing that doesn't work this way. It's like we work this way. Our stories work this way. Like, it's like, so what? I guess what was so cool to me is I feel like I'm finally starting to realize myself that this is all like deep, deep symbolism of the same, you know, handful of stories. Like the hero's journey and all that stuff. It's like they all these stories and fables and myths and legends and fairy tales, it's like they all fold a certain way. And at a certain point, we see the folding more than we see the presentation. And it comes with all this meaning that not everybody's going to pick up on.
So we do tell the same stories over and over again, back from, I mean, hell, the Bible, you know, all these ancient texts and teachings and stuff. That's the way they taught, was through fables, through parables, through, you know, teaching any of those things. And it's really the same, you know, you got the Odyssey and the Iliad, where the hero makes his journeys. Then later on, you got Hercules making very similar journeys. And you've got Samson from the Bible making similar things. Were they copyrighted? Who knows? You know, I mean, you know what I mean? Were they actually heard this story from somebody else? Or was it just a truth that needed to be told at the time? You know, so somebody felt inspired to tell the story again a little bit different. But it's still underlying, it's still got the same bones, same skeleton holding it up, same meaning, or similar meanings. But again, you take that meaning, how it resonates for you, what it means to you. So do you see his struggle of the hero? And we can all relate to those struggles, our own struggles. You know, whether it be in ourself or a physical struggle, health struggle.
So do we choose to be the heroes of our own stories? Is that what we're doing? Is that the secret?
I think so. I kind of do. Do you take up the mantle? Pick up Captain Shield.
You're a lefty. I forgot. That's funny. So yeah.
No, I'm a righty. No, I mean I was just.
Oh, you are
right.
right-handed.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that way. I don't
Okay.
know why, but I'm right-handed. Holding that shield. You can almost feel it on your arm, right? The weight. Captain Shield and Thor's hammer. Good God. Yeah. But we have to, is it ego? Is it whatever that drives us to put ourselves as the hero of the story? Or the victim of the story? You know, we do play the victim a lot.
You can choose to be the victim in your story also.
Yeah. You know, it's human nature when you're called out, when you F up something to, well, wait, why? This is the reason why. Whatever the reason is, you're trying to justify it. You're trying to, or shift the blame to somebody else, or, oh, well, look over here. There's something else happening. Blah, 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 blah. Look over here. Forget about what I did over here. You know, look over here. I think that's the whole spectrum of how we choose our story, and it can change from moment to moment. I like to choose the hero, but hey.
It's like the easy trap that like some people fall into is like there was and I know this because I went through that trap. And it's not a trap, like it's a trap of your own creation, but that idea that you are a victim of your circumstances. You're a victim of this life, you're a victim of this moment, you're a victim of this whatever. And it's like, if you wear that and if you claim that, the universe will support you in that choice.
You want to be the victim? Here you go. Here's some more.
It will ensure that you feel precisely what you claim to be. Right?
Yeah. That's manifestation right there, baby. You're going to manifest your reality, whatever.
I think it's important to cover the other end of that, though, because there's this thing that happens with some people where they realize that exact thing. Wait a minute, I'm not a victim. I can come out of this. I can make different choices. But then that involves taking responsibility. Because if you think, well, this was always inside of me, and I've been holding myself in victimhood for a decade or 20 years or 30 years or 40 years or whatever it is. And there's the shame of realizing that it was within you the entire time and you didn't do anything about it. Or people are going to, think X, Y, Z if all of a sudden I started doing this, what happened? They're going to see that it was always on me. And it turns into that shame, anger cycle of like, well, now I feel ashamed that I didn't realize this, and now I'm mad that I didn't realize this. And then all of a sudden you're back down the same vortex you're trying to climb out of, And so like, it's worth, like, it's a struggle. Like, it's a real struggle for some people to pull themselves out of that quicksand,
It is.
Because they've been in it so long that they think it's how walking works. Like, it's like, oh, this is just, I'm going through life like this because this is what I'm expected. This is what everybody told me it was going to be. This is, And it's like, I'm hearing Pacino in Any Given Sunday, claw with your fingernails, like, But it doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't.
And
I'm learning that, though. I mean, I'm every day I'm, having to, the voices are getting a little smaller from my ego side. I've noticed that recently, that little voice that says, no, you can't do that. No, you shouldn't do that. No, that's not ever going to work. What the hell?
That's not you, though. That's not your true self. Like, your true self will never, ever, ever talk negatively to you. Ever. So if you hear a negative thought, it's an echo of somebody else's bullshit. Period. It's an echo of an experience. It's an echo of an old story. It's an echo
What you
of
were
something
taught
you
as
heard.
a child, whatever the case may be.
But like your divine spark or whatever you want to call it, like whatever language you use for what you are, the universe will reflect what you project.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you projecting? What are you expressing? What marks are you leaving? Because that's really all that, you can't fake that. You're making marks every day. You're making expressions every day. Like, you're creating art every day. But just what does it look like? Is it the art you wanted to create?
Mm-hmm. Or it just slapped on the canvas because you felt like you had to do it.
Or did you not know you were painting?
Yeah, that too.
I mean, I didn't know I was painting the first 42, 43 years.
Wake up and paint the portrait of your day.
Ooh, I like that. Let's end on that.
I like it.
All right, thank you so much for watching. I am Kurt. and
Mike.
That is Mike, and
we do have love for y'all. Don't
yeah.
you know that? We got the love. We got the love. We're trying to spread the love and light. That's why we're making these videos, man. Just to share our paths, our experiences, what were thoughts. And, let y'all know that you're not alone. Because that was very comforting to me when I found I wasn't alone. So.
Exactly.
And the mockingbird says goodbye. Y'all have a great day.